transformation. Listen, transforming. You cannot make this stuff up. All right, now we're going through transformation. Let's start again. Welcome to the Oracle of the Tides. Like the tides, this message comes and arrives at its own time. And like the tides, it comes and goes right on time. All right, as you see, transforming. Was not expecting that. I was going to start off with the Traveler. Yes. We have the Traveler, the seas, uncharted territories, island, possibly going overseas, transformation. Clarity. Things that you were probably suspicious of, you're definitely going to get some clarity. I'm picking up something with April, fresh beginnings, but also full circle on something. Cutting off a weight, starting something new, a new venture, a new big business. This can go in two directions, either cutting off someone that you know has been nothing but chaos, or this person or collective have gone to a complete change, but it seems like it's tied into your manifestation. Yeah, definitely a transformation. I'm picking up also a new journey deeper into the spiritual. You might be picking up new forms of manifestation, paths, more serious ways than you were before. Picking up initiation into whatever path, the universe, God, Goddess is pulling you to. The waters is calling you. But also with the sweet waters, let me tell you, trident, okay? Like him, like the king of the waters, he has his trident. That same trident can hunt fish and also defend, so keeping that balance. Be careful of sea hags. Now, mind you, not always a bad thing, because sea hags, they're very comfortable in the dark. They know how to manifest in the dark, but she also knows how to work and walk in the light. She knows how to utilize her power. She's definitely okay with being called all different types of things, because she knows herself. But depending on where you are, she can also, and like I said, discernment, she can also be the one that is pulling the strings. Be careful of those coming towards you when you're now starting your journey into shifting from one energy to the next, especially if you're diving into deeper self-love, manifestation. I'm picking up air, a lot of air energy, maybe something with highly in air energy, very, very high energy in air. So this doesn't always have to be like a zodiac sign. It can also be working with the air elements, but also intellect, communication, a lot of talking, a lot of movement and getting things done. Sailboat. Yeah. And we have two mommy waters. I wouldn't say the dark and the light, but polarities, and being okay with that. Once again, this is two stories here. You have an energy, this could be male or female. You have an energy that is perfectly fine with themselves. They accepted both light and dark, if you want to say, but let's just say the polarities of themselves. They spent time in their solitude, and it was just like crazy. Like the shift just coming out was dark, like dark, heavy, but you survived, baby. You survived. You probably had some silent confessions for yourself, whether you took it by the water or you sat with yourself and said, this part of me is, quite ugly, or I don't like this, or I need to change these bad habits, or I don't need to rock in that energy anymore. Humbling experience for yourself, and you probably didn't, tell the world about it. It's something personal, People see the shift around you, but it was a constant retrograde. I think, I keep picking up April. So these first 4 months, I feel like there's going to be fresh waves and confessions of things where you'll get illuminated in some things. You'll let things go, and through people's actions more than words, you'll realize that, I made the right decision to move away from this, or I don't think this is what I thought it was, or, just shifting air and water, just shifting the energy around and placing it into ways that you need to. Now, being around those types of energies that are in balance with themselves versus someone coming in masked, uh, pretending to be that energy, infiltrating, I should say, your energy in your bubble. You're going to have one. I'm picking up on something like that very hard, which I think that we can all say whenever you start to do well, there's always going to be the universe coming to test you, to see, hey, have you really learned your lesson? Hey, have you, put those boundaries up? It could be like a seductress of some time, of some kind, excuse me. I'm still getting over my sniffles, y'all. Male or female, and that's no shade to the dark siren energy, but because there's spectrums on all sides of the cards, but in this case, it's, how they say one of these don't belong like the other, or doesn't look like the other. It's that type of energy. You're gonna pick up on that. It's like, I don't think this is quite right. And it's also telling you to don't be shy about cutting those cords and boundaries and say, I need to push you out. You can be gentle with it, but it's about protecting that space. You got all your formulas. It's like cooking. You got all you got all your ingredients, and sometimes you want to add certain things so badly, but if you do, it wouldn't taste as great as you would like it to be. You just gotta gently move it to the side. I think that, let me be mindful of what I say, my words. Force is a beautiful thing, and it doesn't always have to be harsh. It could be gentle love. Now, that doesn't mean that you get taken advantage of, but I think in this energy is more so conserving, conserving your blows, and pushing away those energies. You can do it gently. At this point, you've mastered how to move things away, and transform them without it affecting you and it having a domino effect. You get what I'm saying? Let's move over to the last half, the middle half. Solitude. I said a lot of time there. Time and cycles. Yes. Like I said, things will come around over and over and over. They will test you. It'll come when you least expect it. It'll feel like everything is just fine and dandy and you're walking on air. And, sometimes the universe will come once you're nice and comfortable and be like, have you learned this? And also picking up, be careful of pretty words. People coming back in and say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm due better. Oh, okay. We leave those back in the energy of the 9 is shedding its skin. We're in the horsepowers now, Let those horsepowers drive your force, and if these individuals aren't, putting that self-love into themselves or consistently showing up for them, and you're not constantly feeding them for them to act right so you can act right. I mean, if that's a cross you want to die on, freedom is everyone's right. That's your choice. But, if you're aiming to shift those tides, hard love, no matter how much they try to gaslight or cause a fit, mask reveals. We got love jar, love, mask, possession. Is this a is this beneficial or liability? Female, it could be, around someone. Be careful of love bombers, control, and then masking with sweet words, caged up. If you are under a love spell, bound and bond, caged, they're realizing that you've woken up. If this is your message, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna hit. Meteor high with that lightning and thunder. Yes, baby. You'll sense them getting more desperate, probably acting weird because they don't know which way to move. Be careful, like I said, of masking, of trying to act like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm doing well, but they're just doing that just to keep you along. Now that's up to you if you still want to still be caged and trapped in those energies. You You see this gentleman here? He's stuck in the mud, but he has rope and he has it tied around him, but he can use that same rope to ask for help, give somebody else the other rope to pull them out, you know? Some people are like, hey, I'm happy here. You know, some people operate very well in chaos, you know? If that's how you make yourself, you know, who am I to judge? But, you know, sit with it, own it, you know, and you know, complaining that everything is going downhill when you've chosen that, unless you want to shift the tides. Let's pull. Yeah, I'm a very candid reader, all right? Let's pull another clarification. New journey. New journey. Ooh, yes. Okay. Earth energy. Okay. Love spell. Ooh, earth sign meditation. Oh, right now. Okay. Grounding. 2 stories there. Picking up heavy Capricorn energy. Retrograde. Someone's going to come in. Excuse me. Heavy Capricorn energy is going to rock your world. Probably show you the light on somebody. If not, be the catalyst to your growth. Yeah. Be the catalyst. Sometimes it's like heavy earth energy is going to force you more toxins out of your spiritual body, I should say. Yeah. After that, abundance, baby. Yeah. And as they say, the best way to the other side is through. The best way to clear your, not just physical body, but your spiritual body, is to get all that crap out of it, you know. And we got to thank the catalyst. You know, when we're experiencing events and people and we're like, dang, you know, they got me all messed up, you know. And then later on, when you finally work through all the kinks and, you know, swam through the tides, you realize, dang, I really needed this cleansing. This was truly the catalyst that helped me, push me to love myself more, to step into my abundance, to start that transformation, to, you know, start that new business venture where you thought maybe, hey, you know, people are not going to understand me. I don't know. It's not, listen, just put it out there, baby. Just put it out there, and everything else will come towards you. Just give it time and patience, but live authentically as you're doing it. I'm picking up so much air energy. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, but heavy on Aquarius energy, whether it's Aquarius or heavily in your house, Aquarius. But let's pick it up, engage. Ooh, Tar, okay, Aquarius. Okay, gossip. Oh, okay. Okay. You might be dealing with an Aquarius that doesn't know how to keep their mouth shut. All they do is just gossip, you know. And like, you want to see the best in them, because like tar, when it's heated, it becomes a road. You think, oh, okay, the possibilities, but you see this road is all messed up. If it's not solid, you're gonna mess up your shoes. You're gonna get all the toxins on your body, you know. And you look at them like, you know, it's a double-edged sword. That same energy and passion that they may have to like mess things up could also bring chaos back home. Be careful of gossip. Let's see. Yeah, give it time. It's all going to get revealed. It's all going to be revealed. It's all going to get revealed. You'll know who your people are, and you'll see for yourself where you're like, I don't want to hang around this energy anymore. All they do is gossip. All they do is stick in the same, you know, toxins and tar from last year. They just dressed it up better, or they just only shapeshift because they realize it's no longer cool to sit around and gossip, to sit around and bash, to sit around and play the victim, you know, and any energy. You know, you'll see. For some, it might take some time, and there sounds like a resistance, you know, and that's your own journey. I'm not here to forcibly choose. You know, we're all learning, we're all growing. You might get cast out Might see you as a bad guy. The person that wants to speak up, always looks as, the bad guy. Like, oh, they've changed. Oh, they're different. Oh, they're not going along with our BS anymore. But those who know, they'll see. I wouldn't spend too much time around those energies of gossip. Be mindful of just the tar. Be mindful of where those strings are coming from. Handle it accordingly. You don't want to, I don't believe in turning the other cheek, because you'll just keep getting slapped, I don't want to curse because I don't know how they're going to mess up my videos, but you just keep getting slapped, but you don't want to fight fire with fire either, because you'll burn stuff up. You hit them one good time to let them know you ain't the one to mess with, and you go straight for the source. All those little minions are just like burning you out. You're just, like crickets. They're gonna chirp, chirp, chirp until you walk by. It's at this point, it's like a breeze to a lot of you guys. You don't even hear it. You don't even hear it. You've healed so much, and you've grown so much. Heavy, heavy, heavy water and air energy. Heavy, just heavy. Whew, in a good way. It's balance of the emotions and thought, and knowing exactly where to put it. And if it's not heavily aspecting your chart, babies, working with those energies, working with the energy, which makes sense because we just left the year of 9, which is like Oya energy, the winds, and now we're in water. If you follow the Igbo calendar, today is the day of Ore, which is water, so you take all all that air and push it towards the water, baby. You know where to, like, the emotions, you know where to place them in yourself and others and your projects. Focus. These are the times, right, baby, to focus. Let's see, what is something? Give me another message. Holy Spirit, on what I need to learn. Oh, okay. Ooh, got cola nut and dock. We got the marketplace. Okay. What do we say? Okay. We have reverse, and even if I'll read it, I'll always give a remedy to it. And it just depends on your perspective. We have cola nut, the dock, the marketplace. What do they say? What magic do you seek and need? And with magic, that, that's the umbrella of your tools, the energy, everything, whatever it is that you call your magic that you use to utilize and strength to make things happen. The marketplace, you get everything. The marketplace is just not just to, like, purchase items, but to communicate, network, baby. Network. This is be mindful on saving where you put your money. Storage. Ooh, that was my cat, Bless. Yeah, truth. Storage. Management with your money. Storage, but I'm picking up something else. Just holding on to things, building inventory. Yeah, building your inventory of things. It doesn't always have to go out all at the same time. Also taking your time, but keeping a lot of things to yourself, until they fully manifest. And it doesn't have to be like all doom and gloom. It's like, oh my God, there's someone out to get me and wish ill on me or whatever. That doesn't have to always be the case. Sometimes it's just common sense where it's kind of like, okay, let me make sure everything is aligned before I move forward. And we can't always guarantee that everything will always move smoothly. But I think you guys understand the power of, secrecy when it comes to your own crafts. The cola nut of beauty, love, and fertility, baby. Yes. Marsh. Once again, be careful where you sow those seeds. Like the marsh, it is full with both earth and water. You have the representation of all the emotions. And of course, it appears as if things can grow there, right? But it really can't. you know, it's selective breeding, you know, so intentional, being specific about what seeds you sow, where you place things, but also being mindful of being too harsh and strict on yourself, about being so much of a perfectionist that you're no longer having fun and you're way overthinking things, versus like combining both your heart and your head, you know, in a way that feels both energies of, you know, air and water. I just keep getting the energy of this first 4 months of this New Year's, of working with a lot of air and water in your households, around combining the you know, definition, spiritual, esoteric meaning of it all. Let's see. Let's get one more to close out. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is the element of communication. This, my baby, is earth. I mean, air. I meant to say air, but, you know, they're probably messing with earth too. If you see it right here. Communication, intelligence, and the movement of the energies. The day aspires an intellectual pursuit, travel, social interactions, amongst other things, for negotiations, educational activities, and journeys. It is a time to share ideas and foster connections. What I say? Confirmation. Air, energy, baby. So I hope you take this time to be still, or go by the waters, go for a nice walk, soak in some of that sun, that prana, that energy, whatever it is that you want to do. There's no obviously wrong ways to start your New Year's. Your ritual is yours. Until next time, listen to what the tides are teaching you, my babies. All right, be blessed.